You're in the rant wormhole where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. Today's rant is at the behest of Edithier, who says, "We've had our fair share of your SAO hate. Rant on the other anime Reki Kawahara wrote, Accel World." Well, I already did a plebe in the Weeb on Accel World with Endless Jess, where we talked about it at quite some length. Um, I probably could have just linked that to you and asked you if you wanted a different rant, but we're already on the last day of the month now. So, apologies if any of you have already heard me talk about Accel World there or anywhere else, but my first contact with it was the manga, which I happen to be a part of a scanlation group called Rice Ballicious, which had decided to pick up Accel World because they knew it was going to be a big deal. Like, this was what, 2011-ish, I think, probably. So like, yeah, it was like the manga was new, the light novel had already been coming out, and I think, I don't even think the Sword Art Online anime was out yet. Like, I don't know why these guys were like so hype about Accel World, but they seemed to think that like it was gonna be, like a big deal, and so they wanted to have their name on it. Um, Even though like they had mostly been doing like weird obscure shit that nobody else was picking up, which is like why I was into working with them. But anyway, I proofread the first chapter of the manga. If you were to go read a scanslation online, like on some random website, you'll be reading the one that I did the proofs on. So I didn't actually translate it. I just made it sound better in English. You can tell it's me if you read it, like, because I just have such a particular way of like writing dialogue, but of editing it. So anyway, yeah, like it was I just thought of it as like a pretty generic thing. Like I thought it seemed okay. I liked the artwork of the girls, but like overall it seemed pretty average. And then I didn't even realize that it was a transforming hero series because like that doesn't really happen in the first chapter, which is the one that I had worked on, and I hadn't read any further from there. I just had not even been curious, and I stopped working with that group because I don't know. I think they might have disbanded or something. But anyways, so yeah, like I had no encounter with it, and the anime started coming out, and I didn't watch it. And then like I think I discovered through like a Sakuga Mad or something from that month that the show was like a transforming hero video game show, and I was like, what the fuck? This is what Accel World is? Like, I worked on this thing and I didn't even know that, It was pretty funny to make that kind of discovery years later. Um, but yeah, so I thought like the anime looked like it could be okay. Like, it was made by Sunrise, so I knew the animation would be okay. The robots looked kind of cool. And, you know, Sword Art Online had some good ideas, but like I had seen Sword Art Online, of course, at some point, and I immediately knew about its connections to Accel World since I had worked with it, so I keep track of these things, and I was like, oh shit, this is from that guy. Like, so Accel World's probably bad. Like, immediately I came to the conclusion, like, Accel World is probably not good, so I should probably avoid it. But if I'm ever like requested, I could easily see watching this show. And of course, like when we opened up, the reason we ended up doing it on Pleave in the Weeb is that we had a $100 Kickstarter backer reward that was you could choose one of the shows that we would talk about. And the instant we opened the Kickstarter, someone had already paid $100 and asked for Accel World. So like which was kind of obvious because it's the other thing from the guy who made SAO. So I probably won't like it, and we'll probably have something to say about it. But like the thing about Accel World is that it's just so bland and boring and generic. Like by comparison, even to SAO, like it's not as it's not quite as baffling, at least at first, as some of the stuff that happens in SAO. But like, well, no, I can't even say that. It is pretty fucking baffling when he like speeds up his heart to go faster or whatever. It's like it's definitely in the same vein as Sao, and like it's kind of like you can tell it was written further into Reki Kawahara's career, where like he's improved in certain ways, but then almost gotten worse in other ways, where it's like he's gotten more he's gotten more imaginative. He writes his characters a little better. They have more personality, more flaws, more like legitimate chemistry, I guess. I don't know if they really have chemistry so much as it's just cute that the girl likes him so much right from the start. Um, and you know, he doesn't waste any time with like side hoes, even though he has to keep them around anyways. But like, it's just the stuff that happens is dumb. Like everything that happens in Accel World is dumb. It's just like a bunch of dumb bullshit so that there can be this world and these fights. You know, like it's one of those shows that is just constructed around having a plot. This I feel like I've just cracked a code. I feel like this is what I can talk about now. Like there's so many anime I could say this about that they literally think, what do I want to happen in my book? Like I want this character to fight this character, and I want to have like a fight in the first chapter and a fight in the third chapter, and it's just like, what can I think of to make that happen? And then you just concoct some asinine horse shit that sounds like it could be vaguely entertaining if it was, you know, put into this Mad Lib story structure. And then, you know, you just hit the go button. And if it doesn't make any sense, or if it just isn't even a good idea, if it's just not interesting, like, at the very least, appealing to that very basic idea of, like, structure that we want in a story will keep people watching. Like, people will watch shows just because they feel like shows sometimes. And Accel World has that. It has showiness, but it doesn't have any substance behind that. There's nothing behind, and if you like actually listen to every line of dialogue and try to process all of it, you're going to be really, first of all, bored, and second of all, confused and angry. So like it's better to just not, you know, and if you're the kind of person who can't turn your brain off, as they say, then you're gonna be like, this show is fucking god awful. And that's what we said about it, basically, on The Plebe and the Weeb. So go watch that if you want extended thoughts, and that's it for this rant.